Good evening, Facebook and YouTube and Healthy You for Life. Good evening, good evening. First broadcast of the new year. Glad to be here. Had an interesting journey last couple weeks. I don't know how much detail I shared with all of you, but it was a neat experience. And traveling cross country by car and staying at not so expensive hotels can be interesting and lots of fun. I won't name names, but in one hotel, we were given a room that someone was already in. That's a good way to wind up getting shot, but we didn't, thank goodness. Um, but we had fun and we got where we wanted to go and we got everything done we needed to get done. And Joan and I got to spend Christmas with her son, and that was a blessing unto itself. And I should know better than to leave my notifications on when I am live. So the question here is new year, new you. So many of us, and it's interesting because less people are doing it now, which is pretty cool, but I'm glad to hear it. We make these resolutions, and I did it for years, man. I did it for years. I'm going to lose weight. I need to get healthier. I need to blah, 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 blah. And we all know how that turns out. We'll join a gym, 1 year membership. We'll go for the first month and we'll fade away. People who belong to gyms, the people who love going to the gym, God bless them. I'm glad they enjoy it. I'm glad they do that for themselves because it's important to exercise. I don't exercise at a gym, I exercise elsewhere. But they're glad when we're gone. If that makes any sense to you, they're glad when the people who come in there as a New Year's resolution disappear by February 1st. Because then they have their gym back and it's not overcrowded with people. And in truth, it probably shouldn't be. And you're wasting your money. That being said, one of the reasons that New Year, New Me, or New You doesn't seem to work is because we get into loops of habits in our lives. I'm reading a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. Very fascinating book. A little deep, but very fascinating. And it's about how we have two brain centers. One thinks very quickly, and one is our logical and reasoning brain. The first one reacts based on experience. The second one puts things to the test and says, is that true? Oftentimes, the first one doesn't necessarily base things on whether or not it's true, but they base it on how we perceive it to be. So it's automatic. Simple enough. Let's look at it that way. The first half of the brain is automatic. For instance, breathing is automatic, but you can control it, right? You can slow your breath. You can speed your breath up. There are times when your breath all of a sudden takes off on its own because of fight or flight mechanism. That's the first part of your brain. That's the experiential part of your brain that says something's wrong. So now your breathing speeds up, your heart rate increases, your eyes like grow larger, your pupils dilate. What's going on? Fight or flight, basically, or as Dr. A calls it, the Labrador brain. So when we get into that mode, we're acting instinctively. We're acting based on what we already know, what we already do. So when we go and say, I need to lose weight this year, we start to lose weight. But that loop, that habit person is in the back going, man, that burger looks good. One donut's not going to ruin it. all those things. And by January 15th or February 1st, we're off the rails. Things aren't working out. And it's the same old us. And I'll tell you that one of the beautiful parts about what we do and the experience that we have as we go through our program, remember, not just a diet, it's a lifestyle program. It really is. I mean, to be clear, I'm going on 5 years now, 4.5 this month. 4.5 years. Matter of fact, yesterday would have been exactly 4.5 years because I started on June 4th, 17. We call it a transformation for a reason because we're not just losing weight. We're transforming our thoughts, our feelings, our finances, and our weight and our health. So real quick, lost 52 pounds. Oh, wait a minute. If I'm going to do that, I got to do this. Hold on. I have to do this if I'm going to talk about that. Got to put my disclaimer on there. Lost 52 pounds. Removed 4 medications from my regimen. Actually 5 if you want to count the diabetes pills, because I was speaking to a doctor and she explained to me that I was on double pills. So essentially what I thought was 3 pills was actually 5 pills. Because I was taking what's called Janumet, which is a combination drug, which essentially is 2 different drugs blended together. And I was all the Janumet, and I'm now just on 1 metformin a day. I'm still on my cholesterol medicine because of the diabetes diagnosis. So there's 2 pills a day, a baby aspirin, 3, that's it. And I take pantoprazole because I have GERD, probably from years of ruining my stomach. But all those things improved as I changed my diet. And I hate to use the word diet, but I'm going to say as I changed my nutritional profile. Let's use those words. Okay. As I changed my nutritional profile, those things improved. I have 2 stents in my heart. I used them as an excuse for almost 8 years. Well, I'm a heart patient. As I started losing weight, I went to my cardiologist. We had a conversation. And he basically told me, you got 2 stents, man. You can do whatever you want as long as you don't kill yourself. And what he meant by that was hurt myself by doing some exercise that's going to strain my muscles too much. Because him and I talked about CrossFit. He's like, it's cool, but you got to be careful because there's a group mind thinking that's involved with CrossFit, and you could overextend yourself and hurt yourself. So we talked about that. I did a lot of yoga. I started going to the gym, but guess what, man? Not for me. And for, like I said, if you guys like going to the gym, go to the gym, work out every day. And you think, well, I can work out every 3 days. Yeah, you can. You can do whatever you want. That's your life. But some exercise in your life is important. And getting a new you is going to be more about what you feel than what you think. Mindset. It's about what you feel. Because you think you want to lose weight. But you don't necessarily feel that. You're driven by that because maybe people around you say, you need to lose weight. Or you look in the mirror and you say, oof, I need to lose weight. But what happens is either you start losing weight and then you go, well, I lost some weight. And you give up because there's no tension. There's no tension in your life. There's tension in my life. It's kind of weird to say this, but there's tension in my life every day about health. Every day. Focused. What can I do today to the point of obsession. And it's not a bad thing. This is probably the best obsession I've ever had, because I can now say, all right, in order to be the best me I can be, I have to do these things. So I put them on my calendar. We call them rocks in our calendar. All right. I have pretty good rocks in my calendar. That being said, there's some flotation in that, because right now our lake is down 4 feet from what it normally is. So it's not as easy, A, to go out there, and B, it's wintertime in South Carolina, and it gets a little windy here in the wintertime. Not so much too cold, but windy. And going out and paddling in 12-mile-an-hour wind is not necessarily fun, especially when you're on like an open lake. So I don't try to go out during that. So there's flexibility in my workout and my exercise program. And besides that, because of my nutritional profile, I don't have to, quote unquote, burn calories. Anybody out there trying to burn calories to get ahead of your diet, you know what I'm talking about. Hard to do, guys. Hard to do. You can't outrun your fork. So you have to get your nutritionals in line. And that's what we teach people. We teach people how to do. Anybody who knows me knows that I was the big guy for almost 30 years. The least I ever weighed in those 30 years was 160. When I started this program, I went down to 144. I'm about 150 now because I'm exercising more, I'm building more muscle, and I'm happy with 150. I have the room for that. So, new year, new you can happen, but you have to be in the right mindset. You have to have support. Whether you know it or not, you need support. Doing it all by yourself isn't easy. And we offer that built into our system. Support is built into our system. So, Happy New Year. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. We did. And we have, at this time, 5 more openings. Five more openings for the month of January. And they are also accompanying a pretty special discount until the 9th. So, if you at all thought about doing our program, if this interests you when you heard it and you want to give it a shot, there is no commitment on our program. I'll say that. If you decide you don't like it, you can stop. No big deal. And truthfully, I wouldn't hate you if you did. It's okay. It's your journey. That's how we look at it. So we have 5 openings. We have 5 special discounts for people. And we would love to bring you in and show you what optimal health looks like. Not that you haven't seen it already. And the other thing is the books. Personal development is a huge part of our program because it's all about the mind. We lead ourselves. And as my friend John said this morning at the coffee at the Chamber of Commerce, nothing changes until you change. And he's right. Nothing changes until you change. And someone added and you get into action. Amen. All right, guys. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you soon.